Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much for watching Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting from the Political Command Center in Africa. Thank you very much for listening to us. Sorry. Viewers, this morning we have a special program that I will run for the next 20 minutes. Then later on we go to the main news of Africa and Kenya at a glance. Viewers, as you can see, the international scene is full of different stories. But the story of humanity flows in my blood. Every time where I see a human being being pressed down, I feel the guilt to talk. I feel the urge to discuss, to expose the little that I know that can help the society and the international community in realizing justice, truthfulness, and equality for everybody in the world. As you are aware, I am an international activist. I studied international activism, international law, conflict resolution, resolving conflicts. I also do international media investigative journalism. I've studied international agencies, all intelligence agencies of the world. I know how they operate, what they do. When you want to find out information, you find out. It is sad, therefore, for me to pretend to be okay when section of people across the globe, somewhere in Africa and in Europe. That's why I've taken part in several activities across the globe in making sure that Africa and those parts of Europe are well served. I've taken part in petitioning the Parliament of the United Kingdom in allowing people from Africa and other countries to enter Britain after they have got their tests or after they have got their vaccination, or change the rules. I had a petition of over 180,000 people. The mandatory rule in Britain is 100,000. We bypassed that mandate. Our parliament, our petition was taken to the Parliament of the United Kingdom, and the rules of COVID-19 in the United Kingdom changed. I've petitioned the international community to allow Zimbabwe to have no sanctions in Europe. I succeeded. I petitioned the international community to allow Zimbabwe to sell its diamond in other parts of Europe except America. I succeeded. I petitioned the ICC about the fake investigations, the plight of victims. I exposed the wrongdoings of the international community. I succeeded. 10 years passed. Nobody would like to hear my voice about the ICC. Many people thought I was a money maker who had come to make money. But I laid down the ground of which we see today. I made my points very clear that there were so many potholes and the pitfalls of insanity in the systems of the International Criminal Court that needed to be sealed up for the court to work efficiently. I have been vindicated. As time passed by, those who laughed at me started praising me. Those who hated me changed their minds. Those who sat down and wrote letters against me to be arrested by International Criminal Court became friends after seeing what exactly I was talking about. Today, as we sit here on this television, my message is very clear. Something is wrong. If families of the witnesses are being molested, beaten, harassed, tortured, killed, someone has to stand up to speak. And I'm one of those going to speak. We want to bring the matter to the international levels, that witnesses, wherever they are being approached, are being harassed, are being tortured, are being bribed by the people who fear that this court will take them down. The witnesses are not safe. We have 2 departments of witness protection units. The ICC protection unit for witnesses. Who is disclosing the names, the whereabouts of these witnesses for them to be approached? Who is doing the approach? Who is paying the approach? That's another case. It's a case against Article 170. And I want some people in Kenya to hear me, whether Attorney General or whoever it is, hear me. A case against Article 170 of the Rome Statute is being performed here. Somebody, somewhere, is showing where the witnesses are. I will move to court. I will move to the International Criminal Court using my own resources to file an application to seek clarification as a whistleblower under the articles of the Rome Statute to tell the world the truth, but nothing but the truth. The Rome Statute, Article 170 of that 1998, which I took part to form in Rome in 1998. July, I was there. I sat from morning up to evening and the following day until we passed the Rome Statute. Some of the people yapping today around Kenya and Africa and other places were not even there, were not even born. Some of them didn't even know. But I want to make it categorically clear that I stand for the plight of witnesses, families of witnesses that have been left at the peril, at the mercy of the men, at the mercy of a person, those accused, those who feel that the case is coming for them. The witnesses are being murdered, they are being killed, they are being slaughtered. The families are being harassed wherever they are in the world. Who is showing the whereabouts of the witnesses? I'm asking a cardinal question today. United Nations Secretary General, I'm going to petition the Secretary General to seek a commission of inquiry, whether in Kenya, in London, in Harare, in Sudan, in any place in Europe where I would be able to bring somebody to justice. Enough is enough. There must be people to stand for other people. There must be people to die for other people. I will put my life to make sure that I bring somebody to jail for tampering, killing, intimidating, slaughtering, poking eyes of witness. This is a grave matter. The OTP, Office of the Chief Prosecutor, must clarify to the world within 7 days how these witnesses were found, where they are, who is approaching them, who gave out the list of the names of witnesses and their locations. If they don't, there we go. A chamber number 5 of the same court will decide. Because the OTP has a witness system that looks after witnesses. Therefore, they must know where the witnesses are. So who is telling the witnesses, who's approaching them, who gave the list, who has surrendered the information regarding the witnesses, such that people approach them to tell them not to give evidence. This is a matter at hand. I would not bother, because I hate ICC anyway. But what bothers me today is the plight of innocent families, the families of these people who came up to give free information. They gave free information to OTP, to the Office of the Chief Prosecutor, to save our systems of humanity. They came up to say to volunteer to give information. Their families are being tortured today across the globe. When they know where they are, these guys land on their families. The mafia group is operating within the ICC and with those who are involved to kill witnesses. Who is killing the witnesses? Where are the witnesses disappearing to? We have headlines coming and someone has to stand up. Usually Wamutata in Kenya stands up for reasons that shake the world, shake Kenyans. I stand up for a reason which I will be applauded for. I will be applauded for internationally. I will be applauded for. And Kenya will thank me one day. Because if we got the trend we are going, the country of Kenya is going to be accused at the United Nations that they are not cooperating. If we don't shout out that it is not the Kenya government that is doing this, Kenya government will be accused. Yet there are individuals who are doing this, who are approaching witnesses, who are again saying it is not our business. They have already started insulting people. Time has come for us. For me, I stand for the truth, for the families of the witnesses who are being butchered, harassed. A few months ago, viewers and those listening to me and my statement will agree that a young man came up and said he has not seen his father. A family in town in Kenya said they haven't seen, they have been, since he left, they have been harassed. Who is helping these people? The witnesses who came up voluntarily to give information to help, to solve mysteries of murders that have been occurring, that took place, have been eliminated, and they are being bribed. Who is giving the lists, the locations of the witnesses? Witness Protection Act in Kenya and the ICC is very clear. Kenya signed to the ICC treaty. Therefore, it has to protect witnesses to make sure that people don't kill them. It has to protect the families of those witnesses, to make sure that people don't approach them to kill them. But when you read a headline of this nature about some witnesses disappearing in Kenya and refusing to appear, 6 of them, how did the people know where they were? Who gave out the names and the list and the location? It must be somebody, an internal job of the office of the chief prosecutor. And therefore, we want to go be in front of international arbiters. We want to go in front of international experts, investigative inquiry, and an inquiry, independent inquiry, sanctioned by the Secretary General of the United Nations, who is the line manager of the ICC, to tell me why these witnesses are being bribed and why they are being bribed. Why is it that it is only one case in the ICC where witnesses disappear? Why? Why is it that the only place that witnesses refuse, they are there, but they refuse? These are pointers, and we are not going to leave any stone unturned. I act on behalf of the silent million majority. The public interest, as a matter of public interest internationally, the people want to know, and I'm sure I'm going to be joined by very many international agencies that are going to bring somebody to task to explain where are these witnesses, who located them, who gave the location, how did they know the location, who is approaching the witnesses. That is contrary to Article 70 of the Rome Statute that we see that people are violating. My statement can be got, and I think you have seen it, all of you. It is flashed on Pan-African Forum, www.panafricanforumltd.com. You can read it there. You can understand the plight. You see the suffering of the families, the molested families. We are chasing Article 70, which is a direct criminal act against the ICC, not against the state of Kenya, against the institution of United Nations mandated under the United Nations Convention to handle justice for all people in the world. It is being violated. The Roma Statute and Article 70, perversion, perjury, it catches anyone who tries to look for witness and pays the witness money to withdraw from the case. I rest my case. I thank everybody who has been listening to me. I thank the people of the world, and I thank the agencies. I thank the British Legal Department of Her Majesty's government for saying we should raise this issue and let this issue be raised, because I'm raising as an international activist on behalf of the families. I don't care where they are. I don't know where they are, but I want to know who knows where they are. Who is this man directing these people to go and look for these witnesses, pay them money to withdraw? It is committing another crime on top of the crimes that are already there. Who is this? Who is more worried about the ICC witnesses going to testify? Who is paying money for witnesses to withdraw and eliminating some of them? We don't know where they are. They are in the river, they are in the lake, where have they gone? Who is this? Time has come for us to stand up. Quacks who come around and they say they know ICC. Quakers who say they know ICC. They know the regulations. Stop it. You are telling lies. Your lies will be caught soon. You don't know anything, but you pretend. I am not in this for money. I am going to get an international acclamation on this question of witnesses. I will file within 7 days from today. If the chief prosecutor does not clarify the matter, who is this? Where are the witnesses going? And does not issue a statement to the public of the world, who are the taxpayer who pay the money. Across back to you, Miriam, in Nairobi. Thank you very much for your patience, all of you. This is Diplomatic Leaks, and it, coupled with all what I've talked, we bring it back to you for you to give us the news in Kenya. And I believe one of the headlines in the newspapers that you see is the ICC is again coming into Kenya. And another headline that has just come with breaking news is that the ICCs are choosing Kenya for non-cooperation, non-compliance. And I'm just trying to save this country, because some people are not bothered about this country now. I'm saving the country. I'm not doing this for my stomach. I don't want anything. I'm saving this nation for being reported, for being put in black books because of people who are doing mistakes that we can correct. Already Kenya is being accused, Miriam, you have seen in the Daily Nation. They have been accused now, it has just come breaking news, for non-compliance. Yet someone has located the witnesses, knows where they are, what they eat, what they look like. We don't know. So Kenya is being brought on another stage as if the problem should become a Kenyan problem. The nation does not know the witnesses. OTP with those, especially those like Paul Chijeru and his co-conspirators, are the ones who should be knowing where the witnesses are. And they are showing the witnesses so that they are being paid to get out. Thank you very much, Miriam.
Very well. And before we get into what the rest of the panelists will have to say too, that perhaps I'll just bring us up to date with the latest, I'll take us through quickly on the headlines this morning. And we start with the Star newspaper. The main headline on the Star newspaper, Uhuru to make changes after mass exodus. And then we go on to the Standard newspaper. The new tyranny of numbers, boasting 5.85 million voting power. Mount Kenya holds key to a tyranny of numbers phenomenon, featuring new allied blocks of affirming the old 2013 order. That is the main story. Polls mass exits begin. 3 cabinet secretaries, 5 CAS, and a host of other state officers quit to seek elective seats. And gloves off as DP tells Uhuru Kenyatta, bring it on. That is on page 6. And then we move on to the Daily Nation. The main headline, polls where the numbers are. The same story, I think, on the Standard newspaper. Fighting cancer, new care center in Mombasa to ease load at Kenyatta University Hospital. The story is on page 10. And Hague clouds hang over DP. The ICC wants to interview witnesses who testified against Ruto in his post-election violence case. The story is on page 8. Bring it on, Ruto dares Uhuru. That is on page 4. So in a nutshell, that is what we have on the front page of the leading newspapers this morning in the country.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Back to let's look at that, directors, and as we go, what have you picked? Of course, the topic today is the ICC. We can now start talking on that. Miriam, you have some notes. Basically, surely, somebody wakes up in the morning and agrees to give evidence. Then his family is not protected. After that, the family is haunted. They hound the family, they kill the relatives, they harass the relatives. What is the situation here? That is what we want to discuss, and that is the topic of today, mainly coupled with what you can get, what you can pick from the papers. What is going on? is their protection unit. We have governance systems here, Miriam. Protection unit has to protect witnesses. Who knows the witnesses? For example, in Kenya, if you're a witness, you are given protection. And there must be somebody who knows what the where you are. So who is directing these people to these witnesses that we have that is bringing Kenya to going to be fixed? You know, Kenya, the ICC is now saying, I've seen in one of the headlines online, I don't know whether you have seen it, where they are saying there is a problem. Kenya is not none. So the ICC is now accusing Kenya for non-cooperation, yet they are the ones who have witnesses. They are the ones who handle the witness box. So where's the drama? Plus any other stories that we can get.
Yes, indeed. And of course, the story of Kenya, ICC accusing Kenya of non-cooperation, I think was on the 31st. And we looked at it here a bit, the 31st of January. But yes, indeed, it is a problem. And as you've rightfully stated it there, this could be a problem that Kenya might not want to be, be dealing with right now. But unfortunately, it appears that ICC is here. And so the Daily Nation covered it on page 8. So let me just read a bit of what the Daily Nation is saying in regards to this story. The International Criminal Court has issued summons to another witness who testified against Deputy President William Ruto 7 years ago to testify in the trial of lawyer Paul Gisheru. The summons came yesterday, a week after the court summoned a hostile prosecution witness and asked an unidentified government to secure and facilitate his attendance at Mr. Gisheru's trial that is scheduled to start on February 15th. The unidentified government was also asked to make appropriate arrangements for the security of witnesses P0743 in consultation with the court's victims and witnesses unit. The development comes as the Office of the Prosecutor makes a last-minute rush to procure compulsory attendance of witnesses who no longer want to testify against the lawyer in the fresh summons. A trial chamber judge Miata Maria Samba was the unnamed witness to appear at The Hague and testify via video link at the dates. Time and place, the prosecution and the registry will communicate. Neither the identity of the witness nor his or her current country of residence have been revealed. And the court has also requested the assistance of the country of the witness residence to ensure the witness appears in a court by informing them of obligation to testify. So there is a witness that is scheduled to testify even as the case begins on the 15th, Doc. But of course, there are others who, will not be tested. So that is the story according to, the Daily Nation today. But of course, we do have some other extra information. Let me just get that for us. All right, so the International Criminal Court, of course, has summoned, and I think I've talked about that. And apparently the prosecution is working to ensure witnesses who no longer want to testify in the case at The Hague through a video conferencing are forced to do so. Doc, can you force witnesses to testify in the manner in which the ICC wants to do that?
Miriam, I am one of the few people who has, if you look at my statement, my sister, I began by saying, I told you that 10 years ago, ICC is a court with pitfalls of insanity. First, it is like AU. It says no coup. You don't bring military coups, but it cannot force anybody to stop a military coup. It brings witnesses, but they cannot force witnesses to testify. In other countries and in other parts of the world, witnesses do testify. They are forced to go to court to testify. And that is the basis of why I said a long time ago that there's something wrong with this court. Until the charter is changed, until the statute is changed, we shall remain the same as it is. we shall have the same problems as we have. So the witnesses, of course, they are not leaving voluntarily, Miriam. Someone is telling them to leave. Someone is approaching them with incentives. And that is also another crime being committed at the moment on Article 70 of the Rome Statute. It must be brought out to the international community, therefore. None of us, you and me, we don't know where the witnesses are, do we? We don't know. We wouldn't even want to know, because it has become very hazardous. But there are people who might be knowing where these witnesses are. So are they the ones leaking the information for this? Yesterday, we have been on this television telling people there are some civil servants who don't like President Uhuru Kenyatta. And we kept on telling people, the president, to look at some of the civil servants. You saw them parade exactly. So you tell me the former commissioner of prison, of police, the IGP, Inspector General of Police, Boynet, he was in power at that time. Do you think he would not have given favor to anybody who witnessed and said they are here? Look at that, Miriam. Yesterday you saw them, they ran straight in the hands of the person they have been working for. Ababu Namwamba. Look at all these problems. He has been in foreign affairs, going outside, flying on behalf of Kenya, stealing business contracts, bringing them to Kenya for Ruto to execute. Miriam, did Kenya benefit? No. Who benefited? Ababu Namwamba and Ruto. Today, Ruto is insulting the president because he has made the money, and he's even calling the president stupid. He said, Alete, bring it on. He's joking. Let him there. That is the language of a person who has been actually hounding us out. Ruto wanted to hound anybody who loved Uhuru out of Uhuru's office. Now the truth has come back. That is the man in the first government who put people in the office in the State House to spy on the president. This has to come out. You cannot deal with such a man. You cannot. He put people there who were stealing the secrets, spreading the secrets to the streets. How can you trust such a man, Miriam? Look at the exchanges. The president should have acted long time ago. We have now found ourselves in a quandary state where we people who were even hounded, Ruto hounded me. He continued to hound me up to today. To the extent that he tells the people to get whatever. He goes to Uganda, he talks about my name. I have not who look at me for their lives. They also survive because I'm present. But he goes to Kampala, he's talking about my name. He not knowing he's talking to people, some of them who have no business with me, they will never. It backfired. So this scheme, which we are now seeing coming out of the street like a street ghost, when you read these papers, Miriam, the paper, isn't this that bring it on, Ruto dares Uhuru? Is this not very dangerous for the case? Isn't it dangerous? What does your boy, who knows how to read the newspapers, what does he say? When he says, he bring it on, and this is the language that they use now, bring it on. What do you think the president is fighting? Who is fighting? So these are some of the results. Believe me or not, these are the results of what you and I have been wanting here. At a certain stage, I think you said, why can't the government act to make changes? Today now we are seeing the same people, the true colors. We had electricity going up, Miriam, to the highest roof Who was the minister making electricity go up? We are paying. It is you Kenyans who are paying, including us who are here who use electricity. You are lucky you have your bill coming well termed. Us who go and charge a power. We lost a lot of money. We lost. They brought the equipment which was not supposed to be here. But because they wanted to make money commission on top, Ruto and the chairman of KPLC and the other people, they brought those. You know that case very well. All 11 managers went down. Where did they take the money? To Ruto. That's why Ruto today is insulting everybody. He has the money. He's insulting everybody, including the president. We are not talking this because we don't have facts. If he wants to take us to court, we shall bring the facts to court. Yes. We are not talking anything that is not being talked about. The only thing is that they fear him because he's a very dangerous guy. Everybody fears. Even some people, before they talk his name, they go under the bed. Honestly, mature people, and they're in responsible places, media, they just say, don't talk about that name. So there you are. Now the problem is building slowly, slowly. I don't know whether you are also seeing the problem. Two leaders are fighting. They are at the helm. One is saying, the president is saying, this is what happened. The deputy is saying, bring it on. The deputy has plucked people and taken them with him. A man like Moses Wetangula, a thief of an embassy, which collapsed. And I made my friend Peter Mwangi to pay for it. Honestly, he took the money. I've sat with Peter Mwangi and I cried tears with him. How many times did I go to that anti-corruption commission to take even coffee before the wife comes? My friend Peter Mwangi paid the price. Wetangula today is on top of the cards. He's very clean. He's pointing fingers at. No, Kenyans are not talking. You see on their TV medium, they bring things that are glorifying a thief. Even the editors, they go and look for people who speak. What is this hatred? Where did this hatred come from? I'm asking. Where did the hatred come from? Editors bring people who talk in favor of who? Of Ruto. If you are going to talk against Ruto, you can't step in KTN. I'm telling you. The editors behind KBC itself, a government institution. Kenyatta's program, medium is brought number 5. The president, head of state, number 5 down there. Healthcare. The first program they put is we are in Kwanza where? Kitale. Yeah? It's there on national television. All the editors have a problem. So who is going to talk for the country? Who is going to talk for the witnesses? Families of the witnesses. The other boy, the other time, the newspaper here printed, the boy crying for his father. You were there, you saw, you read the article yourself. That my father has not been seen for a long time. Some few people came here and took him. Who is going to cry for the witnesses? Who? And yet everybody knows that where we are and where we stand right now, we are heading. That's not even, let me tell you, there are people here who are pretending. Me, I don't want to pretend. I don't want to pretend. This television is a community. We talk about the things that affect the community. We can't just be here and have a decoration and the community is suffering. Witness killing is a community issue, sir, madam, and our viewers, Miriam. We have to say something out. What is happening? If we see something wrong, President Uhuru Kenyatta yesterday opened a cancer, honestly, look here, opened a cancer station in East Africa. The only country now that has pioneered to bring about 10 cancer centers that we used to go to India. But in the name of God, if you look at the item, it is put in item number 6. Elsewhere. In fact, even the editor says, elsewhere, elsewhere, President Uhuru Kenyatta was in Mombasa opening a cancer. We have been paying money for cancer patients. Miriam, you have contributed money somewhere for a cancer patient on Facebook. When they show you the picture of a cancer patient, people sell their property and remain with nothing. And the worst part is the patient doesn't come back from India. So where do you sleep? And the president has gone to open a hospital. Don't you glorify this president? Don't you give him a headline? Don't you give him salutations? Don't you say hallelujah, thank you very much? A man who has gone to open a hospital and a person who is doing a rally on top of the car. From 2018 up to today, Ruto has been on the top of that car. Since Raila joined hands with, who is going to talk about it? Have you seen a discussion called to talk about peace so that the two don't start a war of words? Show me one television station that has done it. It is only us here talking about it. Don't you think that is a danger? All of you are saying, okay, Azimio la Umoja, tutakuwa wapi? Office, State House. Azimio mutakuwa wapi? When this nation starts the way it starts, like this, when somebody says, bring it on, and now the president can decide to bring it on and send the DCI for crimes that committed, where would the nation be? The anger that Ruto has towards the president, in fact, it can harm the president. So security-wise, I advise, and I speak here frankly, Miriam, nobody is going to gag my mouth. Let the president now enhance security, because the anger he has against his own boss is too huge. Anybody, even a child in primary school, can see. You can't go and insult the head of state. The manner that you worked under him, and you are using his credibility to win an election, and you are calling him names. I am just a friend. I'm very upset. I'm not happy. So the anger Ruto has against anybody who's believed to be, look at the words that he returned to Mr. Atwoli. Those are not words from a deputy president. Atwoli is an ordinary man. He can make those statements, Miriam, but you, a deputy president, return those type of words. Read them, and you can't even, for you can't read them knowing you. There are certain things that you can't read and pronounce them on this television. They are very bad. So these are things that we should now, as Kenya, as Africans, we should sit down and say, this thing is going to be very bad. It is going to be very bad. And if we are not careful, we might not have an election here. Let's leave that alone now. Let's come to your papers. They are here. Is the election going to take place? Tell me, Miriam. You have just read that article here from yesterday, they said they don't even have money, enough money. EACC, that vets the candidates, does not have enough money. Did you hear that? So what do we do? Is this election there or not there? I've talked to my bit.
Of course, the elections are there. The challenge is they must find a way to overcome these challenges because every one of those steps is very necessary to qualify these people and ensure that we have the people who are supposed to be in these spaces where they're running for elective, places. So if EACC does not have money to carry out this exercise, that is worrying. So hopefully that money should be made available very soon so that they're able to do what they're supposed to do, so that we don't have any more issues after the election. And we have these people vetted because they need to be vetted at the end of the day. But the election is going to happen. I think at this point, there's no question about it.
Miriam, put your fingers there. The man of EACC said, if this money does not come now, they will not be able. And I repeat, he said it, Mutwali said it. If they don't change the law, that's one. If they don't change the law, if they don't have funding, then that is Mutwali. Then it came Mr. Murijan, Juma Mujan, something. The acting CEO of the Independent Electoral Commissions. What did he say? He said, we shall do what we can. Surely. And you are telling me elections will be there. Are we? No, honestly. Let's not make this. This is a serious matter. Let's not make it dramatic. That I will do what I can. Then you said the election will be there. What type of elections are we going to have? Mm-hmm. What results?
Yeah, I think when he said that, and I heard him, and that does not inspire a lot of confidence in the whole process. And of course, Kenyans wondering, is it going to be free and fair? Because we need all these things in place to ensure that election is smooth, it's credible, all the tenets that ensures a proper election is done in a democracy like ours is in place. And all of these things, cost money and should be in place by now. Yeah, so that does not inspire any confidence, but yeah, it will happen. But of course, it might be riddled with other challenges that might not be good after the election has taken place. But the election will take place.
Miriam, I am telling you.
I'm looking forward to voting, Doc. I don't want to.
You are looking forward to voting, but which type of voting? No, yeah. I'm asking, which type of voting are you looking forward to, my dear?
They better fix those issues before August. I don't know if they have time to do that, but they better work on modalities to fix the problems that they're facing right now. All these institutions, and perhaps money needs to be availed so that those problems that need to be fixed through money can be fixed. Whatever needs to be acquired should be acquired, so that Kenyans are able to go into this exercise with confidence, knowing that their votes, after they've casted their votes, there will be no any other issues after that. So we need that confidence that all shall be well.
Well, let's see, but I don't think the confidence can be well when the law itself leading to that confidence is not yet in place. Can I bring you to another stage?
Mm-hmm. But these laws there, I wish some of these laws that started working on them early, because I don't know why this last minute thing of fixing and tweaking. I think this is also another problem we need to address. But 2 years ago, a year ago, so that it's not a crisis like it is right now.
My sister, exactly that is why David is saying there is something wrong. It is also happening like the way why did the ICC wait all this time without confirming their witnesses? Then they lastly come. All institutions in Kenya work that way. We are now coming up with laws there. We are now seeing every law coming. And to make matters worse, people are rushing to court to stop these laws. You know very well, they are rushing to stop. The only bill that people have not rushed to court to stop, because you know who was stopping it before, is the one that passed.
The political parties.
Yes, cooperation bill. That one, Ruto has told them it benefits us. But if there any other law that can be brought right now, Miriam, it is being shut down through the courts.
Especially this bill that apparently it's being sponsored by the IEBC, and you wonder, IEBC knew this is already a problem, judging from the last election and how we've experimented, since the promulgation of the new constitution. So why IEBC waited until right now to bring a bill to Parliament, to sponsor a bill to Parliament to try to fix these things I don't understand. They should have done that earlier, last year, the other year. They should in preparation. So when they bring it now, and doctors, you've pointed out, of course, it will be challenged, and there are people who are ready to go out there in court and challenge it. So most likely, it might not even be in place by the time we are going to an election. So I think they should learn to do things within enough time, so that in case there are any challenges that come up, and Kenyans will even have enough time to even look at it and have time and in Parliament. So when they bring the bill, we're headed towards an election. IEBC is supposed now to be getting to the next phase of cleaning up the registrar and all that. And now it has to grapple with another bill in Parliament, trying to fix some problems in our electoral laws. Why now IEBC? Those are things that they should have thought of and brought earlier, so that they're dealt with, in good time.
Miriam, talking about that, can we now, with due respect, come to a conclusion that all is not well?
Yeah, all is not well. But the elections will go on nevertheless, but all is not well.
You put your money there, that it will be there.
Well,
okay, can I move to third stage? Today let's move slowly.
Okay.
Imagine the BBI comes up and directs. I'm just imagining that before you do an election, because that's the final court, can you sit back in your chair properly and listen to this?
I'm listening. I'm comfortable.
If the BBI ruling comes back, says there are certain things to be done before an election, will there be an election?
But we know that the changes that the BBI is seeking to do, especially if at all the court decides the referendum will have to take place, then that will mean that it has to be after an election, because we know a referendum cannot take place a year before election. So that might be after the elections.
The Supreme Court, the Supreme Court can give an advisory that elections cannot be conducted until it can. You have nowhere else to go.
Oh, when they're looking at maybe the issue of IEBC and its constitution.
Exactly. Now you are talking. My dear sister, you are talking. You are looking at things. Look at that. Let's go slowly. Let's educate people. Imagine the Supreme Court comes up to say, yes, the structure can be changed for the good of this country. What will you say? Will you go ahead with elections? Imagine the Supreme Court comes up to say, hello, we agree. And listen carefully, we agree with the lower court that the IEBC did things illegally. They were supposed to be, look here, they were supposed to be quorumed, a quorum. What will you do? Will you conduct elections? You have just added commissioners, but the IBC has been doing things which affect the 2022 elections. So which Supreme Court will wait for chaos to come to them when they can stop it from coming? I don't know whether my head is all right now, because these days I don't drink brandy.
Yes, but
Are you seeing?
A very pertinent question there, yes, because IBC has been engaging in preparation of this election, even when there were only 3 commissioners. So
exactly.
That was challenged in court. But what does the Constitution say? Because when there are other laws, you know, we have the IBC law and these other laws, usually the Constitution, that becomes the supreme. So the Constitution says minimum is 3 commissioners. So perhaps for the interest of the bigger society, which is public interest, usually I'm pretty sure, not pretty sure, but most likely, you know, the IBC and its quorum, I think that will stay, because the Constitution says.
I'm not saying they will quash it, but I'm saying
just in case.
Let's look at the other side in case they quash it.
That will take us back to 0. So we'll have to start again.
So if they don't quash it, fearing it to be taken to 0, what else will please the other people?
Yeah.
I want to hear. I wish, you know, for us, you and I, that's the way we are going to do our things. Let's reason that way. Look at it, Miriam. It is on the table. The IEBC ruling has not come. The IEBC said can come up because this application was there before.
Yeah.
The limit, the term limit, the Constitution is very clear where the president finds himself in catch-22. What does he do?
Yeah.
What is also there? Yes, what does they do? The president goes back to parliament.
Yeah.
And if he has a parliament, he has a majority in the parliament. I want my researchers to find out, Jeff and others, to find out what is the quorum of MPs needed in the parliament. Because some are supposed to walk out today.
March 26th.
Yes, whatever. But what is the quorum? What is the quorum needed? Because what is the quorum needed? The president can go back to parliament and ask parliament, look, I can't hold a bad election, which is going to produce me death and bloodshed on the streets of Kenya. I want to seek a mandate from you to postpone the August elections. We conduct a referendum as directed by the Supreme Court. What will you do? I'm not. We are looking in these things.
The different scenarios.
Those are scenarios. Do
you think the postponement of elections will make things better or worse from where you sit?
They will make things better, Miriam. If first, it will give the government time to heal. You have seen the president and the deputy are throwing stones at each other. No, let's be honest, Miriam, where you are seated in your house, you don't want a stone to pass by your door. But the president, as commander-in-chief, in other countries, is respected. Here, the deputy president doesn't respect the president. His people, I am the one who receives 20,000 insults a day. The minimum I get is about 12 or 15. I'm telling you, big stomach, big legs, big foreigner, this is what, go. Someone even told me that I should go and buy flowers, Valentine flowers for Ruto, so that we can have Valentine. Can you imagine that? I receive all those things. So that type of hatred has been transferred to the ground. Apart from your areas here and so on, you are going to be very peaceful. But there are some hot spots where the battle lines are going to be drawn. Jermaine, Western, Rift Valley, and Mount Kenya. Those are serious hot spots where seeds of discord were planted.
Doc, even in those other areas, as much as perhaps the presidential vote is not really contentious, there are people there, leaders there that people are tired of, members of parliament, the MCAs, the governors, that people really want to vote out. So that is also something we should look at outside of the presidential vote. There are people Kenyans want to vote out. So if you ask them for them to stay longer, some Kenyans might not be very happy with that. The leaders they're really tired of. Like, for instance, myself, I want to get a new member of parliament where I am. So if you tell me that member of parliament has to stay longer, I don't know what option you're giving me.
I'm giving you the option of extended time.
For that,
you want it done now, and we go.
You're extending the term of
you want him gone, but you know, the BBI issue raised quite a lot of medium on a serious note. The BBI issue raised quite a lot of serious loopholes in our constitution. And I believe the Supreme Court judges will come out with solutions. Some might not be very good for some people. Some might be very good for people.
But also, Doc, even as we look at it, sorry, I've cut you. Remember, there's also a case in court that is challenging Chebukati's position because, you know, contempt of
court. He has not opened. Yeah, he has not opened the service.
So they've been asking for him to be jailed for 6 months. And I think he took it to the High Court, and the High Court said it did not rule on that case. So perhaps he needs to take that case to the Supreme Court. So what if this person decides to actually take this case to the Supreme Court, because it isn't active? You know, two Kenyans have done that. The case is there. So
there is also another case. There is also another case coming in where someone is asking the President of the Republic of Kenya can also vie as a deputy president. So there's nothing that can be a running mate, but not as a president.
That sounds like what Duterte is trying to do over there. I don't know why I don't think President Uhuru Kenyatta would want that.
No, he doesn't want that.
Yes.
But look, he's not going to do that. But the people are going to court to seek. There are others. There is another case that I've seen lawyers have worked on, of whether the deputy president, who has served 10 years together with the president, should also stand for presidency after the departure of the president, since Article 147, which was very clear, works together with the same article where the rules, the regulations of the president are given to Article 147, where you have the president directing, giving the deputy president the work to do, which is similar, that to the extent that medium.
I had to reach out to my constitution. I usually just have it here for reference. Yes. So read for me those articles. I want to help you check out.
Function is of the deputy president. The deputy president shall do, you can see all of them. He has been doing exactly what the president does. So people have gone to court, are going to court according to the constitution to find out whether the deputy president can now stand for elections and be elected as a president, since he has been in power for 10 years with 2 terms. So we still have a lot of obstacles, Miriam. And for me, for a cooling period, as a conflict resolution expert, if I were President Uhuru Kenyatta, I would begin my speech, my last speech to Parliament of Republic of Kenya, to ask them, oh God, help this country. now that the Supreme Court has pronounced itself, is it worth conducting a bad election? Or we do it thoroughly, then we go to elections? Which one is the best option and the route for Kenya, Miriam? Is it conduct it now? We have a fight at the end? Because I don't see the type of acrimony, the type of accusation, the type of saying rigging, the type of saying Kenyatta is in. Even right now, the supplementary budget has given His Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta 1.05 billion shillings. Someone is already on TV making noise. He's saying, why? The president has to perform up to the end. He has to swear in a person. But some people because they don't like the president, they are rushing to court to say no, the budget should not be passed. So we have a problem. And for me, I've been consistent. I've told you that if I were a Kenyan, I would not want Mr. Chebukati to handle my vote. Sorry. He hasn't opened the server. The problem is there. He's asking for money now. He hasn't asked. He rushed to print ballot papers, to give a tender to print the ballot papers when you don't have even the names. What? How many ballot papers are you printing? No, you ask.
He's not even cleaned up. He's not even cleaned up the register. I think he'll start doing that at the end of the month.
So how do you give a contract to a company when you don't even, how did they award this contract? How many voters, how many ballot papers are they printing? If I were on JELAC committee, how did you come to a conclusion to award the contract to a Greek printer, medium, when you don't know how many voters, you haven't cleaned the register? Are they 19? Are they 20 million? How did you ask for money of a project you don't know? Did we assume God, the angel, will come with a miracle and make those numbers? They have only registered a portrait 2.5 million, which comes to 22 million. They have to clean the register. Then you have already given a tender of that amount. Is that man stupid to quote even less? No, they tell me he quotes less. What about when it is less? In the middle of the printing, he said, I quoted for 14 million. You have added 6 million. I want more money. Isn't it corruption, daytime robbery?
Yeah, so hopefully he will bring us a revised budget that, going down from what he had estimated before, going by the numbers, because they failed to achieve the targets by a huge margin. So hopefully the budget will be revised down.
My dear sister Miriam, a revised budget where? To revise where? There cannot be a revised budget, Miriam. How can you revise
there
the
has
budget?
to be, Doc. If the target was 2.5 and they didn't even achieve half of that, they have got to revise the budget.
Let me ask, if it is a revised budget, will it be higher or lower?
It has to be lower. It has to be lower.
At the time of giving the tender,
well, I hope they had a caveat that allowed
they were assuming there were 19 million voters. Now the voters have gone to 22.5 million voters. So tell me how the budget will go down. Maybe I didn't, I failed mathematics, so I don't know. Miriam, it can't go down. It will remain even higher.
But in this case, the target they're hoping will increase have not increased. in the practical case of Kenya right now, the numbers that they were hoping they will get when they were estimating the printing of these ballot papers and all that did not reach that. So they cannot now come and tell us that they still want more money and they'll still work with the same budgeting. That will not make any sense. That has to be reviewed downwards now. So they better give us a revised budget, a proper one.
So let's come to one final topic on the newspapers, because we've done very well. Anything that you have picked, which
I think, Doc, there's something you talked about, but maybe for the sake and the interest of the Kenyans who are watching us, that new care, the cancer center that President Uhuru Kenyatta opened yesterday.
Yes, that's the one I was looking for.
Oh, it's critically important. So perhaps let me just read a bit of that on page 10 on the Daily Nation. The fight against cancer received the proverbial shot in the arm when President Kenyatta opened an oncology center at Coast General and Referral Hospital, Mombasa, yesterday. It will be the second public center of its type in the country after the one at the Kenyatta University Teaching Referral and Research Hospital. The center was developed by the national and county governments as part of the universal health coverage. It is the first radiotherapy center at a public hospital in the coast, and President Kenyatta said cancer has impoverished many families with made to sell land and other property in an effort to send loved ones for treatment abroad. I think we've seen that. A sister-in-law of mine, the wife to my elder brother, died from cancer a few years ago, and it was very, very expensive, for my family. But cancer is terrible, and we treated her. At the end of the day, she died, and so you're left starting again from the ground up. So when you see the government concentrating on things like this and how much a center like this will act in terms of saving lives of a lot of Kenyans who cannot afford the higher charges on private hospitals, I think this is a very important milestone. And then you get to wonder, Doc, like the Moi Referral and Teaching Hospital in Eldoret. If it was not for the local politics that has plagued such institutions, I think that place also would be having such a center. And why not? Because we need these centers, at least 10 or 15 or 20 of them spread out across the country, so that it gives ease to patients who have to travel long distances, for seeking for such treatments. I think it's a long way, and we need more. And that's why I think President Uhuru Kenyatta now is concerned about the person who will inherit, that seat, because he needs somebody with the same vision that will continue with this work that he's been doing in terms of his agenda, and also, the bigger agenda for the people of Kenya. So it's important, and this is laudable, and these are things that we should put politics aside and just give kudos and support, and where it's necessary. So I think this is a great milestone when it comes to our healthcare, and hopefully more will be done in the future.
First of all, Miriam, thank you very much. When the Big Four started, I was one of the few people. You remember, you and I, we did a program on the Big Four agenda. Were you there? Yes. We did it. You have done some serious clips. One of the things that I gave advice, and I continue to give advice today, David. I have no regrets, Miriam, Aki. I want to give my advice. If people want it, let them have it. If they don't want it, let it be. All right? Go to National Health Services of Britain. Do a benchmark. In fact, I'm happy. I found over the weekend, I was in Mombasa, and I met all the people concerned with the Ministry of Health. The CAS, Mwangagi, was very happy to see me. because there are two things that I did. We talked about the locator, about COVID-19 locator. They implemented it. And I told her that, please go and do a benchmark. These machines in Kenya, they appear to be very expensive, isn't it? But in London, they are expensive. But do you know why, Miriam? You don't feel the expense because they have been located to almost every, listen, look here, to almost every area location. So it becomes like a daily routine. You get my point? Daily routine. Someone from his village goes down to the local hospital. He says, can I book? In London, yes, in UK, can I book for checks? I want to check. Someone has got to sit down and calculate that to get that machine to put it on a truck to Nairobi, instead of quoting 800,000, can we quote 4 times? Because then it writes down the notes. Care, fragile, carrying, escort. By the time the machine arrives in Kirinyaga, or Nyeri, or Homa Bay, or Siaya, the machine has almost hit almost 10 million, which is divided between the men handling the installation. We haven't put the installation, labor, everything, not yet. So it is better. This is a very good move that the president has done, a very sound move that the president has done. Let it be duplicated by many other counties. And they have said they are going to roll out in Kisumu, Kirinyaga, Machakos, Nyeri, Garissa. Those centers, anybody from Siaya can approach Kisumu. Kakamega can approach Kisumu. And Kakamega, they said. So Bungoma guys can come to Kakamega. It's a central place anyway. So this will lessen the price, the costs, the agony, the anguish, the pain of many families that go through the cancer, disease, treatment, payments. It is very expensive, Miriam. More so, you are paying to an elusive disease. You don't know whether the person will come back or not. It's very painful.
Yeah, it usually is a gamble, only that because, you know, when you still are breathing, people can't just give up on you. So your relatives, your friends, and people who care have to keep trying. But with cancer, usually, especially at a certain stage, it's a gamble. But in other cases, you know, it works out just fine. So yes, so that is another milestone there that we really commend the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta and what it's been able to do, and it's slowly meeting its targets. Now, the one other target that perhaps President Uhuru Kenyatta might not meet in his presidency, but perhaps the next government should pick on, is the issue of food security, Doctor. And I, as a Kenyan, you can never convince me that we can't feed ourselves. That is something I refuse to accept. And every time I see Kenyans dying, like now I see on page 12 on the Daily Nation, give us food, not money, say starving locals in Samburu. I think the issue of food security is something that the next government has to address with the urgency that it requires. The few strides that the government has been able to make right now, might not offer immediate results. But this is something that the incoming government has to take on, the issue of food security that President Uhuru Kenyatta had put as one of his Big Four agenda. And we should, as a country, address this matter and see how do we stop seeing these ugly headlines on our papers? How do we address the issue of food, insecurity in a very serious manner? So that is something that I'm hoping will be sorted out now and in the days to come.
That would be very, Miriam, these are very good topics that you have brought. And those are the type of topics you and I should engage in from now onwards and see our best, because many people pick a lot of things from our television. Let's look at more of that than looking more of politics, because the politics has become sour. Our people are dying. The road, they are on the streets, the cows are dying, the animals are dying. What went wrong with the money for the food? Isn't it corruption again? Isn't it the anger of people wanting to eat more and more? Isn't it so? Look at the way things worked. If you look at the way things worked, across in Uganda, the government emphasizes to people to do subsistence farming. And that now the method that Ugandan people have used, that's why you have a lot of pineapples. You have a lot of fruits, carrots. Do you know that business of carrots is now the biggest? If you stop the cars, like the other time the trucks were parked at Malaba, a lot of carrots were rotten, which were coming to Kenya. We are having carrots as a main, we are the main exporters of carrots into Kenya. Carrots can grow in certain areas in Kenya. What the government needs is to reactivate, find water where possible. We create ministry. The president created the ministry for water and arid areas. But this ministry always does work that I have never seen. I have no clue whether they still exist or there's something wrong that has happened to them. That when you see that thing, Miriam, of farmers acting, suffering the way they have suffered, and the animals dying, people telling you stories of walking, then you are talking of putting 42 billion in an election to beat you up. you tell me, Miriam, tell me, 42 billion, you are putting 42 billion Kenya shillings in an election where you are going to be beaten up. What do we?
I guess the price for democracy is lofty, but still it doesn't make sense when you look at the things and the urgent things that should be on top of the priority. It's we need to relook at our priorities, even as we.
I know Miriam, you can't stop laughing because I've said something very good. 42 billion for beating
an election.
While
we have children somewhere in Marsabit, still writing on their thighs because they don't have books and a classroom. Yeah.
I'm drinking Ethiopian coffee, Miriam. Ethiopian.
Oh no, I'm drinking Kenyan tea. It's the best.
Yeah, thank you very much. But the Ethiopian coffee, they drink it this way.
Even Ethiopian coffee, even Kenyan coffee is the best.
Yeah, but I'm trying this so that I don't sleep on your show. So, Miriam, and that is the food security. Uganda had a problem of Karamojongs every year asking for food from Karamoji. His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, in some aspects, is very good. Some aspects is very bad, also extreme. Human being nature is like that. You can't expect a human being to be laughing from 1st of January up to 31st December. So equate it to democracy. There are certain pictures that are going around that Miriam will touch today. Let's do dispatches because people are missing you on dispatches. If you can, let's do dispatches. I will support you on the dispatches when you ask me questions later. Some of these pictures are not very good. Some of them are embarrassing. But there is something in this badness. Karamoja became very good. The amount of potatoes, cabbage, the biggest cabbage comes from Karamoja now. Rice, tomatoes, onions, they are coming from an area which was previously very bad. In cattle rustling, killing, assassinations, bandits, raping, invading Kenya. He has done something there. So East African countries should start working together instead of working politically. That let me get a uniform that looks like a Museveni. Museveni is the uniform so that President Museveni can help me to win an election in Kenya. You know, you get to that point. That's why Ruto went for the yellow color. But President Museveni is not has got his priorities. And Uganda has got, Ugandan population is different from Kenyan population. For us, we don't have problems. When the Supreme Court has made a ruling, we go home and sleep. Can you give us clap for us?
No, because your
No.
options are limited. When it comes to food, Doc, my friend works there, a good friend of mine has been living in Uganda for the last 2 years. And she's saying food is the cheapest thing in the market. You go there with even 200 shillings, equating to Kenyan shillings, you buy a lot of food that can feed you for maybe 2-3 days. Perhaps I need to relocate to Uganda, and it's fresh, and it's so maybe we could even borrow some of the things that Uganda is doing to feed our people here.
Miriam, can I give a request that I am ready to make a relocation of a head office?
Oh no, I love talking and I love freedom. So that could be a bigger problem for me over there.
No, you can relocate and I will provide.
Oh, no. Because now I can sit here and speak my mind and criticize and I don't have to worry about anything because that freedom and that security is guaranteed for me in this. So to me that is very important. But I also need to eat and be full. So can we make those work, the government of Kenya and the incoming government? Let's make sure our people are fed. Otherwise, even the issue of cattle rustling will go down. Sink these holes. I think this is where we need to engage our national army, Doc, to help in the boreholes across the country, because we've now seen the politicians will only eat. But if you give the Kenya army, which is very able to sink boreholes across these arid and semi-arid areas that require this water, I think they would have contributed to the better of Kenya instead of just fighting in Somalia.
My sister, you are right there. And you see, when you talk yesterday, I had a very tough discussion on Twitter. In my space, I had a topic on Turkey, and some people came for me very badly. Some Somali they said we prefer Turkey than Kenya. Yes. So when you talk about going in Somalia, I'm beginning to agree with you a bit that the people that you are serving might not be the right people that we are serving. Yes, my sister, that is true. The people that we are serving might not be the right people we are serving. We should take our energies somewhere else. Like Museveni decided to keep quiet. People condemned him of human rights abuses in Karamoja. He put up borehole every parish. So you can't go and kill people for water. You have water in your parish. You get my point? So if you want, you have animals, take them there. Many of you swing the borehole until the water flows and fills down, the cows drink. That's it. He did that.
Doc, that is doable. And because you've seen even Red Cross is engaged in corruption. Remember, they were supposed to be taking care of another dam in Tana River that did not take place, and our politicians are not doing enough. So perhaps it's about time we engaged our army, you know, because I think the Kenyan Defense Forces is quite capable of solving some of these problems that we are grappling with as a country. So something should be done. We should make good use of these men and women who are willing and, you know, to serve this country, instead of, you know, taking them to a place where even their efforts are not appreciated and insisting they have to stay there. I'm not sure. That is not the government's attitude, but I'm just saying perhaps their service will be needed here more.
I agree with you that the services would be needed more, but
and will be appreciated here more.
Yes, I think it is high time we prepared an exit strategy. That's it.
Okay.
I don't see. Turkey has come in and confused everything. I don't see us getting any fruits out of Somalia. The only way to get out of Somalia is to rearrange Somalia. And we take our part, they take their part. Other terrorists also take their part, and we live like that.
Doc, as we want no parts of Somalia. We are content. We just want them to be peaceful and not export terrorism in this country. I don't think Kenya is interested in any part. You know, even after the ruling at the ICC, I've not seen Somalia really going and taking the space that, you know, the ICJ purported to have given and that division. So, and I've not even had them make any noise.
But
so
you know very well the space was occupied. It is occupied.
Yeah.
So how will you? I told you after that ruling. I said, how will you remove Kenya from the border?
You can't.
You can't.
Go,
you have
go
to
find
fight
another place to play.
Yes.
Go find something else.
Fight it.
Yeah.
Lastly, we have 2 minutes. This Juma, page 10. Aisha Juma's case.
The bodyguard. The surety has
is it becoming ugly?
Well, she's been trying to find ways of postponing this case for the past couple of years, and I think the other time she was in court, she told the court that she's not been in the best health, so she can't attend the court session for the next 1 month. So she needed the court to postpone the case. But interestingly, after she told the court that, and the court granted her that, she was seen in a rally with the Deputy President William Ruto.
So the surety has now disappeared.
Now this is for the aide. This is for one of the people, her aide. His name is Geoffrey Otieno Okuto, and he will remain after the surety was withdrawn. One of Ms. Juma's relatives had deposited a logbook for Mr. Okuto. She now wants to sell the car to fund her studies. High Court Judge Anne Ogijo yesterday ordered Mr. Okuto's detention for failing to get an alternative bond. Mr. Okuto pleaded with the court to give him at least 2 days as the documents he had tabled were approved. He said they need to be verified in Homa Bay County. So that is that. So that is his aid. But according to Aisha Juma, on her part, she said she's not feeling well. So she had requested the court to give her 1 month to heal up. But again, she was seen in actively participating in the campaigns. So I don't know if the last time, last Friday, I don't know if she was a part of the politicians that accompanied a deputy president at the coast. I don't think she showed up because I think the court were really watching her, but she was in a previous rally, even after making that request to the court.
No, this one, she was there.
She was?
Yes, and that's why the bodyguard was also, no, the bodyguard, why the surety for the bodyguard has withdrawn is the bodyguard escorted her up to there. They went together. Now the surety of the bodyguard said, you are going to cause me trouble. I'll lose. I don't have that amount of money to pay. They will take my estate. You were seen in Nakuru. You tell me you are sick, but you are there. So Aisha Juma, some of these people do things like a children, and our children see some of the streets. It is not very good at all. Thank you very much, media analyst. You have something else to say?
Doctor, there's something I need to bring to your attention before we leave the show, to do with some African news, as the US has announced visa restrictions against current or former Somali officials accused of undermining democratic process. So the sanctions have started there for Somali leaders. And also, I don't know if you're aware that Uganda has a court that will be determined today at the International Court of Justice. Let me just bring you up to date. The International Court of Justice at The Hague is expected to hand down a verdict in the long-running case between the Democratic Republic of Congo and Uganda. Both countries are demanding reparations from each other in relation to conflicts in the DR's Congo's mineral-rich Ituri province from 1998 to 2003. The court in 2005 ruled that Uganda must pay compensation to DRC for its occupation and looting in Ituri. So Uganda was accused of looting in Ituri. And the court ordered Uganda to pay the DRC, and it found DRC culpable for an attack on Uganda's embassy in the capital, Kinshasa, and ordered it to pay compensation. The court ordered the neighbors to negotiate mutual reparations, but they were unable to reach an agreement, with Kinshasa pushing the case back to the court in 2015. DRC is claiming more than $11 billion in compensation for Uganda's occupation, which Kampala has rejected as disappropriate. And even as we speak, and that case continues, you know that Uganda's army, UPDF, is in the DRC. I'm telling you. That is Katogo, as you call it. What do you call it? The mixed
Katogo, a cocktail of disaster.
That is a bad cocktail.
My country is a very good country. My country has got a heart like myself. We like helping too much, but at times our help ends up in chaos. Now, if they hand down the sentence, which is going to come against us anyway, because they didn't do enough publicity on it. They didn't do anything on it. They should have sorted out the matter with Congo.
Mm-hmm. But now don't you think people will start questioning the intention of Uganda wanting to help at Congo, as Uganda was accused of looting in the Ituri province, the same, I think, place where Uganda is right now trying to find. Don't you think now it's like a conflict of interest in this regard? People will start questioning the intention.
Yeah, yeah. What the international community who don't want Museveni have done, those who did not want President Museveni to go to Congo have gone behind the ICJ and said, finish the case now. Yes, and it is done deal, you will see. Finish it, punish him. Because you saw UN was very hesitant in, even UN condemned the Uganda's involvement in the RC Congo. But for us, we have to come also to defend our country needs to defend its territory, because people come from the same place to come and kill us and go back. So on this one, there are two things that Uganda has done very well in Congo. It has hit a cable line that strive Masiwa, the Zimbabwean, was building of liquid after getting a lot of money from the French, destroyed it completely to want to reach Kinshasa. And thank you very much, the Uganda Air Force, for doing a good job there. Because how do you get 10,000 men in that forest? How did you collect 10,000 people? Who are these 10,000? And I predicted a coup, a military coup. Miriam, can you now see? I hope people not kill me saying that, how did I know? I saw it coming. A coup in Congo, I told you a week, 4 days before. And now I'm even telling you, within the next 3 weeks to 4, there is another one coming in one of the West African states. Very bad one. And it is going to be jubilations against, on top of jubilations. So Uganda now finds itself at the crossroad, catch 22. We are helping to stabilize Congo. Congo has gone to demand money from us. Do you know what President Museveni is going to do? He said, pay for us for the way we entered to clear the rebels. That's a long journey. We have a long journey before that money comes.
But you offered. But also now I feel like, KDF being there is just it's perhaps not the best idea. Because KDF is also helping.
KDF was invited by
by
the Congolese to help in building, reconstruction, hospitals, roads. Well,
no, in restoring peace. Because if Kenyans that KDF is building hospitals there and roads, and yet we want them to do it here and they're not doing it, that would be a problem. They're just there to bring peace as peacekeepers. I was start feeling a certain way. Because why, but anyway, and owing to what is happening right now in the Democratic Republic of Congo, the case will be determined today at the ICJ between DRC and Uganda, and we know that Uganda is there to help. And these new accusations of some forces trying to destabilize democratic institutions and the DRC right now, this might be a little more complicated, and perhaps, I don't know if we invited more problems on our doorstep more than we'll be able to handle right now.
Where in the DRC?
Ituri. Uganda is accused to have looted in Ituri.
That's where the Kenyan troops are.
I can check that. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Because the rest is the northern part of the DRC, Ituri and Kivu, northern region.
Ask me. I have been a rebel in those areas. I've traveled there. Ituri forest. Ituri is up near Kisangani.
So Uganda is accused.
Where diamonds and the gold and
Uganda is accused to have looted the diamond and the golds there. In fact, the ICC told Uganda to pay a lot of millions of dollars. They're tuning $11 billion US. Uganda is asked to pay because it looted that much.
Where shall we get that money?
$11 billion US. So this will complicate the peace efforts that Uganda is trying to.
No, we just go to Kinshasa and overthrow the government.
And you see, the DRC is already accusing some elements of trying to destabilize the country. Don't you think they might start pointing fingers and saying, "Hey, why is this country all of a sudden wanting to help us?"
No, we have gone there. We shall overthrow the government if we are not careful. Yes, I'm telling you. I know. I have been with General Museveni since 1978. In Tanzania, I know everything. I know how, if he's smiling, look, Miriam, if he's smiling like this, wait until this one dries up. So I know. If there's a man who knows him, ask me. I was a younger man at the age of 18, 19, 20, when I was working with him in the military commission and in the diplomatic commission in the Nile Marshals. in 1978, 79. We overthrew Binaisa together. Like this, we left the room together, all of us. Then we said, we go and arrest him now. And the troops left with Oito Jok. I was there. I was in Oito Joko's Kikos Marum. Ask anyone. My great friend, the late Oito Jok. So I know His Excellency, the President. So we are stabilizing Congo, actually. We are stabilizing it. If this man is too much, we just go and overthrow. Chisekedi will have.
There seems to be a spanner in the works.
No, but where do we get 11 billion? When we are helping you?
Well, the case has been there since 2005. So.
Yeah, let it be there, but we don't have 11 billion. Uganda has no 11 billion to pay Congo. The best we do, we overthrow the government.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So I hope that is not the case, because I think
no, it is the case.
Yeah,
didn't you see the coup? Didn't you see we had actually almost got there on Saturday evening.
Are you saying Ugandan is
no, I don't know. I'm not saying Ugandan government. I don't speak for the government of Uganda, but yeah, I'm saying we as Ugandans, we don't have 11 billion to pay Congo. Please. Yo badili ya kulipa tutaenda na mtu. I don't know whether you're understanding my what figurative language.
No, make it clear. This is a very important matter, Doc. Make it clear.
It is not. No, Uganda has no $11 billion to pay Congo.
Okay.
We went to Congo to help them because Congo at that time needed peace and security, which was lacking. So International Court of Justice ruling is not binding. If we are to pay Congo 11 billion, let them pay us for what we did also.
And don't you think the DRC will start wondering why Uganda offered this help? Because perhaps the country knew this ruling is coming up and they decided to be diplomatic and say, you know, we need to help your government. And now perhaps the DRC will start thinking, oh, so why?
But because we are genius.
And yet the same country was accused of looting in our country. And now,
no, but yeah. Miriam, we were genius. We had them. It means our international strategy of handling, of putting Uganda with genius.
You're not worried it might backfire at this point with this ruling, today that will be made today? It might change the matrix of the whole thing.
Yeah, it is true. Miriam, on a serious note, it is not a joking matter.
It is not.
On this one, I also support President Museveni that we don't have 11 billion to pay. So if we fail, we Ugandans have a policy. If we fail, we go with a person. Haven't you seen the way? Haven't you seen the way I was not paid?
But do you understand the number of forces already in DRC and the amount of interest from other countries that is in DRC? So going with another person, that will be an impossible, because there are a lot of interest represented in that chaos in the DRC.
No problem. In fact, we are now part of it. Miriam?
That's what I said when CDF was going there. I didn't want, we have enough to deal with here.
Look at us. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? We are already in there. We are already in there. For us to leave, Congo must also pay us for the security we have stabilized.
But you offered Congo, and no, it's not stable. Remember, people were killed last week at a refugee camp, so the killings continue. The place is not stable at all.
We shall deal with the killings. But then Congo cannot accuse us, ask us for money And let me make this very clear. I'm not a spokesman of the Uganda government. But on this one, I'm a Ugandan. On this one, Uganda has gone to help. And we are helping these guys because they cannot run their territory. So for us to be asked to pay 11 billion shillings, we shall go with somebody.
11 billion US dollars. Shillings, that would be
we don't have it. Miriam, don't you see my lips?
Money.
We don't have that money. That is our budget. So we ask Congo to pay us first for having rescued the country where it is. Are you not seeing the satire?
No, what I'm seeing is a cocktail of disaster, not even satire.
Yeah, no, but we don't have the money to pay.
Yes.
Where
so
shall we get?
What I think
Uganda has no money to pay. We
should
went
reach
to
out.
Congo. Yes,
they should
we
reach
went
out.
to Congo to safeguard the interests of the people of Congo.
They should have an outside settlement and just work it diplomatically and agree, you know what, we don't have this money, or they can work on a modality, even if it takes Uganda 30 years to pay this money, but they have to work on something, because we do not want at this point any acrimony between Uganda and DRC. It will not serve this region well. So we need an understanding between these two countries at the end of the day.
Why should we take 30 years paying something that we did not benefit from?
But they did. Uganda looted, and it was
we
confirmed.
Didn't loot. Was it us who were looting? Do I loot? I am a Ugandan. Did I loot?
Doc, according to this case in court that has been going on, both countries are demanding reparations for each other in relation to conflicts in the DRC's a mineral-rich Ituri province from 1998 to 2003. All right. So the DRC is saying this is how much was taken from the country. The DRC is accusing Uganda of occupation by force and looting in Ituri. And then Uganda is accusing the DRC of bombing its embassy in Kinshasa, which DRC has been also told to pay, to pay back Uganda. So this is something that has been ongoing.
So we exchange it that way.
I don't think the embassy is the cost cannot be 11 billion.
They bombed our embassy.
There's no trade-off.
They bombed our embassy. Our men who died in Congo defending them. They want us to pay 11 billion. We don't have it. We go with another person.
Doc, if that is how you're going to defend this case, you will lose in this court.
No, I want to lose it. Look at my medium, my sister. You are not seeing my reasoning.
Yes.
We went to Congo. We went to Congo to help these Congolese.
We also went to Somalia.
We were invited. We were invited by Kabila. Kabila invited us in Congo to help him to stabilize Congo, because Congo was too big for Kabila to stabilize. So in the process, our equipment from Uganda got lost, got killed, got destroyed. We also need compensation.
But now, you are not, Kabila said that you're occupied.
Yeah?
Kabila said that you're occupied because Congo is seeking for
not occupied.
For the occupation.
They told us we had an agreement. They summoned us for help.
Yeah.
And if they want to force us to pay 11 billion, walaya Mungu, we shall go with somebody. Ugandans have a different way of operation. I'm telling you. We are not going to pay 11 billion. We don't have that money. Can they pay for our equipment now? We are helping them to stabilize Congo. Can they pay it?
And what does Uganda stand to benefit while helping some DRC?
Nobody will be coming from there to kill us again.
Yes, that's a good one. But you see, also, it's the same case with us here. We went into Somalia, we are helping, but they still took us to the ICJ, and that was that. So
that's why I'm telling you, our good hearts, Kenya and Uganda, we have very big hearts. we go in to help people who turn around and ask us to pay them. Yeah. Another development, if you read the Monitor newspaper of Uganda,
yes,
I think you saw that one where South Sudan has accused Uganda of harboring rebels. Didn't I tell you? Now you remember? Didn't I tell you? Yes, South Sudan.
But those are accusations that have been there for long now.
Can Jeff bring that paper? Stephen, bring the paper for Miriam on the screen to read. South Sudan has accused the government of Uganda of harboring rebels in refugee camps of NRAS, NSA, National Salvation Army, who was bringing from there to destabilize Southern Sudan. It's a headline there. Bring it on paper up here. I want to see.
So Uganda is the Katogo. Yeah. It's caught up in a lot of mess.
I don't know who taught you that.
Thank God it's sorting out the mess between it and Rwanda, but now
who is teaching you that word Katogo?
You keep saying it, so I heard it.
Oh, because I'm becoming very concerned. Hey, Katogo is a mixture.
So Uganda is caught up in all these cocktails of mess.
It's a mess. Jeff, can you bring the paper for Miriam, because you might not have got it?
And also I see another story still in this. He sent me the link, but even before I open it, I see another headline: 4 South Sudan soldiers killed in crossfire with UPDF. So there seems to be a problem there.
Exactly. Not seem to be a problem.
There is a problem.
Justice Matanga predicted it. I told you that as long as we keep these commanders across in safe houses and houses across in Uganda, palatial homes, South Sudan will one day turn on us and ask, what is it that we have against you that you keep on having people coming again? The peace process in Central Equatoria cannot hold because National Salvation Front, National Salvation Army, operated by one of the generals I know, whom I know very well. Yeah, they are operating there. And they are the ones who have refused to have anything with peace. They want Riek Machar and Salva Kiir to go off. Then they can go to Sudan. Otherwise, they will fight them. Now, South Sudan has said, you are holding the people in Kiryandongo refugee camps that are around.
And the number is perplexing because the South Sudanese authorities are estimating about 4,000 rebels could be hiding in the refugee camps and call for quick action. And South Sudanese military and political authorities have accused their Ugandan counterparts of harboring rebel remnants in refugee settlement camps in northern Uganda. Over 4,000 rebels. So, okay, now. There'll be an eager summit soon.
We shall not pay. Remember, South Sudan has to pay us.
South Sudan has to pay you for what?
Yes. We saved them.
You know, Uganda has been accused for being part of the fueling the chaos.
No, we went to help. Miriam, we went to help. We again need money from South Sudan.
South Sudan cannot even pay its membership fee for the EACC, forget the IAU, and you want money from what?
My sister, you see this?
You're pushing your luck. You're not getting that. But you can afford to pay DRC. At least in 20 years.
No. On that one, no. I am telling you. You see the coup on Saturday was successful almost. So can you listen to me? That I told you the other Monday on Tuesday that there is another coup in Africa coming. Am I wrong?
But Doc, if you keep saying the coup on Saturday was almost successful, we don't want the DRC to start accusing us of harboring people here who knows what is happening there.
Where? Here.
in the DRC. When you start saying the coup there was almost successful.
It was. Yes, because they are also involved in giving support to some people.
Kenyan
So
government is not
I look at me. I am a member of International Institute of Strategic Studies. I get reports from every minute, reports. And a Muzungu does not lie. A Muzungu, when he gives you a report, is verifiable. Two, I am a member of Chatham House, one of the oldest institutions in the whole world. When they give you their report, Miriam, they don't lie. Is it a miracle that America tells you that there will be terror attack somewhere? If people can know that there is a trauma, there is earthquake going to happen, in tsunami is about to come, how can they fail to see the coup where people move arms and talk on telephone? Hey, Miriam, the planners must have been talking on telephone, and all our telephones are manned by Mr. Obasanjo and the French Alcatel. You have forgotten the story. Always here, you're a very good student of international relations, and I want you to be picking stories from me. Very good. You learn a lot, my dear. This one was happening, and there is another one happening now. There is another one coming, very big, and you will be shocked. So Africa needs, does it, can I tell you something? Does it shock you? There was no mention of Ethiopia in the plenary.
They did, but they did it in passing. I think President Kenyatta brought it
up.
It
was on the President Kenyatta.
In passing, it was not like a serious matter.
Yeah, because security matters are discussed under camera. So journalists, but me, I know exactly what was taking place, because one of the member states was my friend. So I look, people fear each other here in Africa. And if you are hanging on to say Uganda will pay 11 billion, you are wasting your time, man. We can't pay also. No, we don't have that money. And the President Museveni, don't try it.
So what
don't have that money.
But what will that mean for the relationship between the DRC and Uganda moving forward? They have to find an amicable way of addressing this matter. It can't linger.
Yeah, they pay us 90 million, which they killed our embassy. Then we can add 2.
You're looking for million, then they're looking for billion.
No, 90 billion for our land. Our embassy was destroyed.
Was it that expensive, really? Your negotiating skills are just. There you go.
My dear sister, you can call them
compare. These two don't compare. But, Doc, we cannot afford another acrimony between 2 other countries in this region. So we need, for DRC and for Uganda, to have an amicable way of addressing this issue, so that we curb another acrimony. Uganda is just, sorting its issues with Rwanda. All right, we already have enough going on in this region, so we don't want to see
the Rwanda issue with Uganda. We have sorted it out.
Yes, so that's good. So we just want to mend, this.
Rwanda and us, we are brothers, sister and brother. We are people of one mother.
Okay, so now we need your cousin now, the DRC. We need that sorted.
No,
we need that sorted.
No, the DRC issue most come slowly, because we are not going to pay 11 billion.
I cannot believe.
That one.
And then, what reaction are you expecting from the DRC?
We want 90 billion for our embassy. 90 billion.
You mean to tell me your embassy was what? Was
what about our soldiers who died there? Who has compensated them? Our arms, our tanks, our helicopters, our gunships. Who gave us, who compensated us? Now I'm becoming Uganda's Minister of Foreign Affairs. Imagine here now, look at me. I am now debating, but President Museveni should not pay 11 billion to Congo. No. No. We have helped the Congolese refugees. Does he pay us? Do they pay us? Do they pay us? Who valued the gold? Who valued the gold? Who? How? My friend, I think Uganda should bring, I wish they brought me in. How these Congolese would have run away very quickly at the ICJ because I avoided it. As a man negotiating for this, I would tell them off. Let them also go and clean their territory before they look for money from us. Mr. President, don't pay. Aya. Hakuna kulipa 11 billion. No, what? If it is 11 million, yes. 11 billion. We don't have it, Miriam. We have food, matoke. Maybe we shall give them matoke. We shall be exporting matoke to Kinshasa. Do you have any more words?
No, but and the new sanctions over the leadership of Somalia from the US. Have an election. They're supposed to have an election this Somalia. When was it? This month?
Yeah, but as Farimajo been given the sanctions.
I don't think so.
In fact, for Farimajo must be on the sanction list. But because he has hidden that American passport, now they have forgiven him. Otherwise, he should be on the sanction list. Miriam, talk about that. There is European Union heads of state meeting in Brussels on 17th to 16th to 17th of this month, next week. All African heads of state will be in Brussels for the EU summit. I hope I will be around there also. But of what significance is the summit to Africa anyway? Why don't they give us that money without calling conferences? The conference alone will take about $3 million to euros, 3 million euros to organize. Why don't they give us that money to build dispensary? What is your comment on that?
Well, they give us the money to build dispensaries. Yeah, that would be a good idea.
Instead of wasting the money on conferences.
Yeah, some African head of states will attend that conference.
And have you heard what has come out of Tanzania?
What is happening?
Tanzania is doing postcode. Your letter comes to your door. No more boxes of post office.
But that will only apply to the people who own houses. What if people who rent and keep moving?
No, it doesn't matter the house. The location will have a postcode.
Okay.
You tell me what about those who live in animals? Animals, Maasai who look for land, maybe.
Oh,
but
migrate.
Each house.
The pastoralist.
Yeah, each house will have a postcode, and that will enhance. You know, Tanzanian politics has changed now. There is more of civil society back. Magufuli era is gone of toughness against civil society. Mama Salim Suluhu, Samia Suluhu has done a very good job, changed the whole, given a lot of freedoms to the journalists, released the journalists who were critical of the government, allowed them to practice a liberal system of governance. But it could also become a very dangerous thing for Tanzania in that it could be used as a conduit of George Soros' money being planted or thrown in there for people to go and, because I've seen Boniface Mwangi flying to Tanzania several times. So whom is he meeting around there? You don't know. So these are some of the things that what happened in Southern Africa when South Africa had a lot of, you get my point. South Africa had a lot of NGOs, 1,996 NGOs. They didn't know it was very bad for them until now. When they got this pandemic, they saw the population changing on them. People changed. They demanded this, they do this. People were, they said, no, the disease is not there. And talk about the disease, Kenya has flattened the curve. Have you read some of that?
It was in the paper. It's in one of the papers today. I think that's a wonderful thing. But they're still encouraging people to continue wearing their masks and sanitizing. It's not.
Miriam, wear the mask. Wash your hands. Mama, don't slacken. Don't slacken.
My sanitizer is right there.
Mine is right there.
It's just right there. It's right there. Yeah. And when you go to other rooms in the house, you'll find the sanitizer. So I can't slacken on that.
Don't slacken. Everybody watching us this afternoon, don't slacken in wearing the mask. Although in Kenya, we have flattened the curve. We have been resilient, but don't go down, please. Keep it up in supermarkets, in hotels, in taxis. Wear the mask. It might have hidden in one corner somewhere. It comes for you to catch you. So wear the mask. Thank you very much, Miriam. I think we've done very good.
And now, and Doc, you were complaining about the soldiers and the damage. You know, the amount of human force that Uganda has lost in DRC trying to help. It's part of the war. It's called collateral damage. That doesn't count.
You don't want us to be paid for our soldiers?
Collateral damage.
My sister, you know what?
We'll see you later.
We shall not pay. President Museveni, don't pay the 11 billion, please. Don't pay it. Thank you very much, viewers. You have been watching Diplomatic Leaks, which started very early in the morning at 11 o'clock with a very good program, a very good statement on where are the witnesses disappearing to? Where are they going? Who is keeping the safety of witnesses? Kenya as a state must make sure that witnesses who are here or any state under the ICC treaty must look after the witnesses and not to show the locations of the witnesses. Otherwise, there are men out there who want to kill them. Thank you very much. This station is for Africa, with Africa by Africa. Ciao.